Keloğlan and the Magic for Keloğlan is a famous boy in Turkish stories. He is poor, but he is very clever and kind. He lives in a small village with his old mother. His hair is very short, so people call him Keloğlan. In Turkish, Keloğlan means bald boy. Every morning, Keloğlan wakes up early. He helps his mother in the house. He brings water from the river. He cleans the small garden. He also goes to the market to buy bread and vegetables. One day, his mother says, "Keloğlan, we do not have much food. Please go to the forest and find some wood." Keloğlan takes a small bag and walks to the forest. The forest is big and green. There are many tall trees, birds, rabbits, and flowers. While he is walking, he hears a strange sound. "Help me, help me." Keloğlan looks around. Under a tree, he sees a little bird. The bird cannot fly because its wing is hurt. Keloğlan says, "Do not worry. I will help you." He carefully takes the bird in his hands. He gives the bird water and some bread. After some time, the bird feels better. Suddenly, the bird begins to speak. "Thank you, Keloğlan. I am not a normal bird. I am a magic bird." Keloğlan is very surprised. The bird says, "You are a good person. I want to help you." In this forest, there is a magic tree. Under the tree, there is a treasure. Keloğlan says, "I do not want gold. I only want food for my mother." The bird smiles and says, "You are kind and honest. Follow me." The bird flies slowly through the forest. Keloğlan follows the bird. After a long walk, they arrive at a very old tree. The tree is huge. Its leaves are golden. There is a small wooden box under the tree. Keloğlan opens the box carefully. Inside the box, there are gold coins and a small note. The note says, "Only honest and kind people can find this treasure." Keloğlan is very happy, but he does not become greedy. He takes only a few gold coins. The bird asks, "Why do you not take all the gold?" Keloğlan answers, "Other people may need help too." The magic bird smiles again. "You have a good heart, Keloğlan." Keloğlan returns home before sunset. His mother is worried because he is late. When she sees him, she says, "My son, where were you?" Keloğlan tells her everything about the bird and the treasure. His mother says, "I am proud of you. Being kind is more important than being rich." The next day, Keloğlan goes to the village market. He buys bread, cheese, olives, milk, and fruit for his mother. He also helps poor people in the village. He gives food to old people and toys to children. Everybody in the village loves Keloğlan because he is honest and friendly. 1 week later, the king hears about Keloğlan. The king says, "I want to meet this clever boy." Soldiers bring Keloğlan to the palace. The palace is very large and beautiful. There are big rooms, expensive carpets, and shining windows. The king asks Keloğlan many questions. The king says, "What is more important, money or kindness?" Keloğlan answers, "Kindness is more important. Money can finish, but kindness stays forever." The king likes this answer very much. Then the king asks another question. "What is the best thing in life?" Keloğlan thinks for a moment and says, "Family, friendship, and honesty are the best things in life." The king smiles happily. "You are a very wise young man," he says. The princess is also in the room. She listens to Keloğlan carefully. She likes his simple and honest words. After some days, the king gives Keloğlan a job in the palace. Keloğlan works hard every day. He helps everyone. He never lies. He never becomes arrogant. One day, a rich man comes to the palace. He says, "I am smarter than Keloğlan." The king decides to test them. The king puts a big basket on the table. Inside the basket, there is something special. The king asks, "What is inside the basket?" The rich man quickly says, "There is gold inside." But Keloğlan listens carefully. He hears a soft sound, then he smiles and says, "There is a cat inside the basket." The king opens the basket. Inside the basket, there is really a cat. Everybody is surprised. The king laughs loudly. Keloğlan is truly clever. The rich man feels embarrassed. Years pass, and Keloğlan becomes famous in many villages. People tell stories about his adventures, kindness, and intelligence. Children love listening to stories about Keloğlan because he teaches important lessons. Be honest. Help people. Do not be greedy. Use your mind. Be kind to animals and nature. Keloğlan never forgets his old village or his mother. Even when he becomes successful, he stays simple and humble. And every evening, people tell Keloğlan stories near the fire and smile happily. The end.
Keloğlan and the Lost Princess. Keloğlan lives in a small village near the mountains. He lives with his mother in a little house. They are poor, but they are happy together. Keloğlan is not rich or strong, but he is very clever. He likes helping people. Everybody in the village knows him because he is funny and kind. Every morning, Keloğlan wakes up early. He feeds the chickens, carries water, and helps his mother cook soup. One cold morning, his mother says, "Keloğlan, we need flour and bread. Please go to the city market." Keloğlan takes a small bag and starts walking to the city. The road is long. He walks for many hours. On the way, he sees an old man sitting near a tree. The old man looks tired and hungry. "Hello, young man," says the old man. "Can you help me?" Keloğlan gives him some bread and water. The old man smiles and says, "You are a good boy. Many people pass me, but nobody helps me." Keloğlan says, "My mother says we must help people." The old man gives Keloğlan a small silver whistle. "This whistle is magic," he says. "Use it when you are in danger." Keloğlan thanks the old man and continues walking. When he arrives in the city, he sees many people in the streets. There are fruit sellers, bakers, children, horses, and musicians. But everybody looks worried. Keloğlan asks a woman, "What happened?" The woman says, "The princess is missing. Nobody can find her." Suddenly, soldiers arrive in the market. One soldier shouts, "The king will give a big reward to the person who finds the princess." Keloğlan thinks for a moment. "I want to help," he says. The soldiers laugh. "You?" they ask. "You are only a poor village boy." But Keloğlan does not get angry. He goes to the palace. The palace is very beautiful. There are large gardens, fountains, and gold doors. The king looks very sad. "My daughter disappeared 3 days ago," says the king. "Nobody knows where she is." Keloğlan asks, "Where did people see her last?" The king answers, "Near the dark forest." Everybody in the kingdom is afraid of the dark forest because strange things happen there. Keloğlan says, "I will go there." The king is surprised. "You are brave," he says. The next morning, Keloğlan walks to the dark forest. The forest is quiet and scary. The trees are very tall. The wind makes strange sounds. After some time, Keloğlan sees a little fox caught in a trap. The fox cries softly. Keloğlan feels sorry for the animal. He carefully opens the trap and frees the fox. The fox suddenly speaks. "Thank you, Keloğlan," says the fox. "I am a magic fox." Keloğlan is very surprised again. The fox says, "I know where the princess is." Keloğlan follows the fox deeper into the forest. Soon, they see an old stone tower on a hill. "There," says the fox, "a giant lives inside the tower. The giant is big and angry. He kidnapped the princess because he wanted someone to talk to." Keloğlan thinks carefully. "I cannot fight the giant," he says. "I must use my brain." Then he remembers the magic whistle. He blows the whistle loudly. Suddenly, hundreds of birds fly from the trees. The noise is very strong. The giant becomes confused and afraid. "What is happening?" he shouts. While the giant covers his ears, Keloğlan quietly enters the tower. Inside, he finds the princess sitting near a window. The princess is scared, but safe. "Keloğlan," she whispers, "please help me." Keloğlan says, "Do not worry. We will leave now." They slowly walk out of the tower, but the giant sees them. "Stop," he roars loudly. Keloğlan quickly gets an idea. He points to the mountain and shouts, "Look, a bigger giant is coming." The giant becomes terrified. "What? Bigger than me?" The giant runs away into the forest. The princess starts laughing. "You are very clever," she says. Keloğlan and the princess return to the palace together. When the king sees his daughter, he becomes very happy. "My daughter," he says. The king thanks Keloğlan many times. "You saved the princess and used kindness and intelligence," says the king. The king gives Keloğlan gold and beautiful clothes. But Keloğlan says, "I only want enough money for my mother and our house." The king smiles. "You are honest too." The princess enjoys talking to Keloğlan. She likes his jokes and simple life stories. Every day, they walk in the palace garden and speak for hours. One day, the princess says, "Many rich men come to the palace, but they are proud and selfish. You are different." Keloğlan smiles shyly. After many months, the king organizes a big celebration for Keloğlan. People dance, sing songs, and eat delicious food. Everybody in the kingdom hears the story of brave Keloğlan and the lost princess. Children tell the story to their friends. Old people tell the story near warm fires at night. And Keloğlan never changes. He stays kind, funny, humble, and clever forever. The end.
Keloğlan and the Talking Fish. Keloğlan lives in a quiet village near a blue river. He lives with his mother in a small old house. They do not have much money, but they always share their food with other people. Keloğlan is a cheerful boy. He likes singing songs, helping animals, and making people laugh. One sunny morning, his mother says, "Keloğlan, we do not have fish for dinner. Can you go to the river?" Keloğlan takes a fishing net and walks to the river happily. The river is beautiful. The water is clean and cold. Birds fly over the trees, and small fish swim in the water. Keloğlan waits patiently for a long time. Finally, he catches a small golden fish. But suddenly, the fish speaks. "Please do not eat me, Keloğlan," says the fish. "I am a magic fish." Keloğlan opens his eyes wide. "A talking fish?" he says in surprise. The fish continues, "If you free me, I will help you one day." Keloğlan is kind, so he puts the fish back into the river. "Go and be free," he says. The fish smiles before disappearing into the water. Keloğlan returns home with no fish. His mother asks, "Where is the fish?" Keloğlan tells her everything. His mother laughs softly. "You always help everybody," she says. That night, there's a terrible storm in the village. Strong winds blow everywhere. Rain falls heavily. The next morning, villagers discover terrible news. The king's famous diamond ring is missing. The king is very angry because the ring is very important. It is a gift from his grandfather. Soldiers search every house and every street. The king says, "The person who finds my ring will receive a great reward." Many people start searching for the ring. Keloğlan also wants to help. He walks near the river and thinks carefully. Suddenly, he hears a familiar voice. "Keloğlan." He looks down and sees the golden fish again. "You helped me before," says the fish. "Now I will help you." The fish jumps out of the water. "The king's ring is under the old bridge," says the fish. Keloğlan quickly runs to the bridge. Under the bridge, he sees something shining between the rocks. It is the king's diamond ring. Keloğlan takes the ring carefully and goes to the palace. The palace guards stop him. "What do you want?" they ask. "I found the king's ring," says Keloğlan. The guards bring him inside immediately. The king looks surprised. "You found it?" asks the king. "Yes," says Keloğlan. The king checks the ring carefully. "Yes, this is my ring." The king becomes very happy. "How did you find it?" he asks. Keloğlan smiles. "A friend helped me." The king laughs. "You are an interesting young man." The king gives Keloğlan a bag of gold coins. But an evil man named Hazen becomes jealous. Hazen is rich, but he is greedy and dishonest. He says to the king, "Keloğlan did not find the ring honestly. Maybe he stole it." Everybody becomes quiet. The king looks serious. "Can you prove your words?" he asks Hazen. Hazen cannot answer clearly, but the king decides to test Keloğlan. The king places 3 closed boxes on a table. Inside one box, there is a silver apple. The king says, if Keloğlan is truly clever, he can find the silver apple. Hazen smiles because he thinks Keloğlan will fail. Keloğlan walks around the table slowly. He listens carefully to the boxes. Then he notices something. One box is colder than the others. He points to it. "The silver apple is inside this box," he says. The king opens the box. Inside, there is really a silver apple. Everybody claps loudly. Hazen becomes red with embarrassment. The king says angrily, "You should not accuse honest people." Hazen leaves the palace sadly. The king turns to Keloğlan. "You are clever and honest. I want you to work in my palace." Keloğlan accepts the offer because he wants to help his mother. Days pass happily. Keloğlan becomes popular in the palace. Even the workers and soldiers love him because he is friendly and respectful. One afternoon, the princess meets Keloğlan in the garden. She asks, "Is it true that you talk to a fish?" Keloğlan laughs. "Yes, but many strange things happen to me." The princess enjoys his funny stories. Soon, they become good friends. Sometimes they walk near the river together. Keloğlan tells stories about village life, animals, and adventures. One evening, Keloğlan visits the river again. The golden fish appears once more. "You used the reward wisely," says the fish. "Yes," says Keloğlan. "My mother is happy now, and I also help poor people." The fish smiles proudly. Kind people always find happiness. Then the fish disappears into the water forever. Years later, people still tell stories about Keloğlan and the talking fish. Parents tell the story to their children before sleep. And everybody remembers the lesson of the story. Kindness, honesty, and intelligence are more important than money. The end.